Why do Iran and Israel hate each other? So we're going to find out in this video. We're also going to look at the origins of the conflict between these two nations and how their relationship has evolved over time. So make sure to watch until the end. And remember, you are here for a reason. I know it might not seem like it now, but trust me, you do. So let's get into it. The main reason for the conflict between Iran and Israel is ideological. Iran is an Islamic theocracy ruled by religious leaders who believe that the country should be governed according to the laws of Islam. The majority of Iran's population is Shia, it's Muslim, and the country's constitution enshrines Islam as the official religion. Israel, on the other hand, is a Jewish state. It was founded as a homeland for the Jewish people, and its laws and traditions are based on Judaism. This fundamental difference in ideology has created a deep divide between the two nations. The situation was further complicated by the Iranian Revolution of 1979, which saw the overthrow of the country's US-backed Shah and the establishment of an Islamic Republic. The revolution was led by Ayatollah Khomeini, who viewed Israel as a Zionist entity that had been established through the oppression of the Palestinian people. He called for the destruction of Israel and the establishment of an Islamic state in its place. This rhetoric has been taken up by many in Iran and has contributed to the current tensions between the two countries. In addition to the ideological divide, there are also historical grievances that have fueled the conflict. In the early 20th century, there was a movement among Jews to establish a state of Israel in the region of Palestine, which at the time was under Ottoman rule. This movement, known as Zionism, was met with resistance from the Arab population in Palestine, who saw it as a threat to their way of life. When Israel was eventually established in 1948, it was met with hostility from its Arab neighbors, who saw it as a foreign body in the region. This hostility has only been exacerbated by the ongoing Israeli occupation of Palestinian territory, which began in 1967. It is important to note that while Iran's government may distinguish between criticism of Israel, its policies, and hatred of Jews, critics argue that Iran's actions and rhetoric often cross this line. The Iranian government has been accused of making anti-Semitic statements and of supporting terrorist groups that target Jews both inside and outside of Israel. Despite the hostility between the two countries, there have been some efforts to improve relations. In 2003, then Iranian President Mohammad Khatami called for a dialogue of civilizations between Iran and the West. And in 2015, Iran and the P5-1, which includes the United States, Britain, France, Russia, and China, reached a nuclear deal that lifted some sanctions on Iran in exchange for curbs on its nuclear program. However, these efforts to improve relations have been short-lived, and tensions between the two countries remain high. Today, the conflict between Iran and Israel is one of the most volatile and dangerous in the world. Iran's support for Hezbollah and Hamas, two groups designated as terrorist organizations by the United States and the European Union, has led to numerous clashes with Israel. In addition, Iran's nuclear program has been a major point of contention. Israel has repeatedly threatened to attack Iran's nuclear facilities, and Iran has responded by threatening to retaliate against Israel. But why do they keep going back to this idea of Zionism? Why does Iran constantly mention Zionism when talking about Israel? Well, Zionism is the nationalist movement of the Jewish people that supports the right of the Jewish people to self-determination in their ancestral homeland, which is today known as Israel. It is important to understand that Zionism as an ideology is distinct from racism or religious fundamentalism. It simply asserts the right of a people to their own state. But Iran sees Zionism as a way of getting rid of Palestinians, so that Israel can take more land. And that is why they call Israel the Zionist entity. They see it as a fake state. I hope this video has helped you learn more about the conflict between Iran and Israel. If you want to learn more about any other global issue, make sure to follow. Thanks for watching.